Let me get this straight. I mean, the practical exams, which started a week before, you know, the theoretical exams, ASUU, which is not the progressive one, took part in it. So that the lecturers who were part of that NAU or that ASUU administered the practical exams.
Yes.
But they refused to go on with the theoretical exams.
Exactly.
And you refused to see reason with them as well.
Of course, because once the exam started, we must have to complete it.
But he also talked about how these theoretical exams, you know, were now finally administered and they were not administered properly. Is it true?
No, I'm coming to that. Don't rush me to that. The point I'm trying to make is that to give you the background of all this.
Well, we don't have a lot of time, so if you don't touch on the salient points, you might run out of time before.
Okay, let me just quickly put it across. The point is that they took the University Senate to court over a number of issues. The particular issue,
which has nothing to do with exam.
Which has nothing to do with exam. And this to give you the idea or the background of their hostility with the management and the university as a whole. Then before the exam, they tried to stop the Senate with a court injunction. And the Senate convened, and they went about sending text messages and leaflets to members not to come. They even came to confront the University Senate. But a number of times, like 27th of February, 2nd of April, and then 16th of April, Senate meetings took place, resulting to the elections of the members of the council. Thereafter, the injunction against the Senate got elapsed. And I want to inform you today that that injunction not only got elapsed, that judgment was passed on that against the ASUU executive at the cost of 20,000.
The thing is, you are part of ASUU, aren't you?
No.
Are you part of ASUU?
Listen, the point is this. When that election took place, there are a lot of issues. A number of us stayed off because of litigations against that election and also the running of ASUU. For instance, the welfare officer used to be a member of ASUU. A number of my colleagues used to be a member of ASUU. And for your information, the law faculty as a whole pulled out of ASUU. No single member of the faculty of law is a member of.
But they're not members of progressives either.
But they're all members of the progressives.
They're all members of progressives.
Yes, I'm telling you. Yes.
So what is the membership of the progressives?
The membership of the progressives is spread all over the university. And of course,
can you put a figure to it?
We are not. Of course, on the 5th of April, we made a press conference where we disassociated ourselves from everything concerning ASUU, led by Professor Ike Odumegwu and Dr. Oke Nwafo, giving the background of hostilities they have created on the campus. If you want, you can go back to the Sun of 5th of April.
We understand that. I was simply saying, what is the membership strength of the progressives?
In fact, in ASUU today, you don't tend to have all the members of the staff of the university, academic staff, attend the meetings. So you have people who are neutral, who are maybe sympathetic with any group, but they hardly attend meetings. For instance, ASUU led by Odumegwu, he pointed out that at no point in time have they ever had in attendance more than 100 or 150.
He said 200.
But I'm telling you that is not putting the exact figure. Sometimes you get 30.
What's the membership? The membership of the progressive?
The membership of the progressive is more than 100 at any point in time we call a meeting. And we have other professors who are the background, who support our cause. We held a press conference, and all of them assembled. We have made several write-ups to the press. We have written petition to the ASUU National. Of course, the ASUU National President is a gentleman. We are only being handicapped by a lot of bureaucratic bottlenecks in getting our views and our protests channeled to the national headquarters.
What litigation did you say exists while members pulled out of this ASUU election?
In fact, currently there is a litigation between Dr. Jeku or Diegu against ASUU executive led by Professor Odumegwu, Odumegwu, and there is another one that is currently on between one junior against that.
Was this prior to the elections or after?
After the election.
What about prior to the election?
The one that came up prior to the election. These things came after the election. Prior to the election, there were disagreements. Some group...
No litigation preventing the election from going...
Yes. They wanted to bring... So some group wanted to bring court injunctions to stop it. the Vice Chancellor pleaded no, that they should be allowed to go on. So after that, there followed a lot of litigation, including the ASUU executive litigation against the university. There are many of them. He talked about the visitation panel report between 2004 and 2012. And he didn't tell you about the implication of that report. He didn't tell you that, that the Constitution of the Senate is all right, and that I have been made mention of non-academic staff being present. You know.
He said it was not properly constituted.
Yes. No, it's well constituted. The issue of non-academic staff are those in the service of the registrar. The registrar is the secretary of the Senate. He comes along with him, with a team of non-academic staff, administrators, who service the Senate. They don't have a voting right.
But they are present.
They are present, but they don't have a voting right.
Should they be present?
Yes. They service the Senate. They write notes. It is not the registrar that puts everything in writing. Sometimes he has up to 2 people writing. You have other people distributing the circulars, distributing the minutes. You have other people who are there to say one thing or the other.
But he was talking about a particular, is it a white paper or a report now that was done in 2010, and you know how it was just difficult to implement it. He even said the council of the university had met on that particular issue, but could not seem to find a way around it.
The issue is this: why is he emphasizing on the Senate, on the white paper report on the Senate? There are other issues in the white paper. For instance, the so-called American hospital at Abuja that has never seen the light of the day, being sponsored by the former Vice Chancellor.
There were other reports in that particular white paper.
Yes.
So he is concerned about the white paper, right?
The white paper was displayed to everybody. Yes. Everybody has the knowledge of the white paper. Mm-hmm. The point he's trying to make is the implementation of the white paper. Yes. And why is he emphasizing only on that of the Senate? The Senate, the white paper comment on the Senate has been met and fulfilled. Many others have been reached and fulfilled. Only the American hospital at Abuja, which was started by the former Vice Chancellor. Why is it that ASUU executive has not been making mention of that? Why? Because perhaps, you have vested interest from within and outside university over the hostilities in the Nnamdi Azikiwe University. And let me inform you also that this is the first time ASUU body is taking the University Senate to court in the history of education system in Nigeria, in Africa, and perhaps in the whole world. University Senate is normally regarded as sacrosanct and sacred. In fact, it's the ultimate academic decision body of the university. They are members, most of them are members of the Senate. And whatever grievances they have, they ought to come to the Senate and table that, and let that be discussed. In one of the Senate, when they were protesting the Constitution, they were in the Senate. Exactly, Senate meeting of 2nd of April this year. They were there. Overwhelming majority condemned the action and adopted the motion that the Senate was properly constituted. Yet they went about to prosecute the court. Eventually, like I told you, today, judgment has been passed against ASUU executive with the cost of 20,000.
Okay. All right, we're out of time now, but is the exams concluded or is it going on?
Yes, I'm privileged to tell you that as the chairman of the exam timetable committee, exams have been completed, except some infractions constituting about 15%, between 10 and 15%. Mostly those that are involved in the ASUU executive, they are the ones that boycotted for the exams. Exam took place successfully at the 2 campuses in Lewe, basic medical health sciences, the medicine, then coming over to the campus, as showed by your crew in Oka branch. Management sciences did the exams. I conducted the exam as the director of pre-science in Nnamdi Azikiwe University. The exam finished on Wednesday before I said they come.
Can I ask you, are you on strike as well? The Progressives on strike?
We are not on strike. Our decision, when we made a press briefing, is that we may join the strike at the end because we share the principles which ASUU National is pursuing. The issue of lack of funding, lack of infrastructure, and then in the allowances of lecturers who toil day and night, supervising masters and PhD holders. That federal government should revive educational system, keep the flame burning so that we'll be able to compete with our opposite counterparts in the world. The federal government has failed. We identify with the explanation. Okay. But the point I want to make again is that this ASUU local branch failed because I want to, before I leave, it is not the responsibility of ASUU NAIU to go to court. ASUU NAIU is not registered with Corporate Affairs Commission. It is ASUU National that goes to court. We are reliably informed by some members of the executive of ASUU National. So that is a problem that I have to settle later.
Okay, Professor Madu Abuchidoko is the ASUU Progressives Chairman in Nnamdi Azikiwe University. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you.